Um, my name is Lihnida, Stojanovska-Georgievska. I'm from North Macedonia. I am a physicist by vocation, and I teach physics, general physics at the Faculty of Electrical Engineering. And one of my subjects in the upper years is also physics for creation of game or computational games. This topic that will be discussed in this presentation is more related not to higher education, but to professional education, because as members of Faculty of Electrical Engineering, we usually work on different projects related to energy efficiency, which is a high topic today. And there are many training courses in the adult education, non-formal education that are developed in our past experience. And in the latest projects, we also delved into incorporation of gamification elements in this professional education, non-formal education. And that is the topic of this presentation also. So the topics covered within the presentation and the paper submitted for this conference covers professional education in the field of energy skills or energy efficiency. A little bit, I will give the definition that also Professor Previous has mentioned about the gamification, and especially the difference between gamification in education and game-based learning, which was discussed earlier. And I will present our case study, what we have done in the project that I have mentioned, how we have incorporated several types of gamified elements into the professional education. I will finish the presentation with some conclusions from the evaluation of the results or findings of our experience. We are all going or acting toward the sustainable future in the fields where we act, whether we act as professionals or as educators. So one of the high topics, as I mentioned, is energy efficiency, resource efficiency, also waste reduction, protection of the environment, etc. Which has many advantages, but also many challenges. And in order to achieve that, in the scope of the work that was done in this paper, we are using different methods, different approaches, and in the basis of everything is the skills, and having skilled professionals, having competent workforce that will be competent to do the things that we are planning and how we are planning to reach this sustainable future. But in order to use these methods, practices, and approaches, we also have a need to have this kind of approaches in education and also in training, in upskilling and reskilling of the workforce in order to produce the competent workforce that will be able to implement all these technological advances that are on the table, and that will in fact enable this sustainable future. So this is also the future of education. In the future of education, using technologically driven new learning methods is the utmost. Also, one of them is gamification and gamified elements in education. The main achievement or the main goal, let's say, of using gamified elements or incorporating gamified elements, something that is related to games in the education and in training, is to enhance motivation of the students, also to make them feel that they are not forced to learn something, but to learn the games. And that is something that is leading to this distinction between introduction of simple gamified elements into the process of education, into the process of training, and the difference between the game-based learning. In the previous presentation, which was very interesting, we saw the second example, the example of game-based learning. The learner in the game, he is learning from the first person perspective through playing something, and he's reaching the knowledge or the skills that are aimed to be provided by that game. Gamification is something different, or something that is that looks more like education, but that incorporates gamified elements. And what are the gamified elements? The gamified elements are something that is pushing us to reach the goal, to reach the milestone. Something that incorporates quizzes during the teaching, and these quizzes are usually pointed. We are reaching scores, or students are reaching scores, so competitiveness is also awakened in them. That is increasing motivation, and we are going through the process of learning, or the process of training, by reaching some milestones, by reaching by conditioning the next level, like in the games, by reaching the first level or reaching the first point of knowledge that is aimed to be reached. So the gamification is enhancing motivation, is linked with the achievement, and is providing a challenge in the whole process of learning. Along with all of this, there are awards. Awards are the points or the milestones that are reached, and also the final certification, and usually in this sense of gamified elements, usually it is in the form of digital badges or digital certificates, that points that the learners or the students are gaining. I also mentioned previously the key differences between simple gamified elements and game-based learning, or GBL. As I said previously, the first example in the first presentation was a very nice example of game-based learning, when the learner is learning from the first-person perspective. It is very, this kind of approach is very convenient, especially in professional education, when to learn some process, or to learn some technological process, or to put the learner, to put the student into the environment of the workforce, of the workplace, is something that cannot be achieved, or cannot be provided by simple presentation from the teacher, but to put the student in this kind of environment, usually by using virtual reality, makes the student in the place of learning, and he, by solving some challenge or solving some situation, is learning the skills and also the knowledge that is aimed to be learned. By using gamified elements, as I mentioned, in the process of learning, we are enriching the process of learning, and adding motivation and adding challenges in this whole process. During the preparation of this presentation and the paper, some study or research of what is currently new or current experience by using gamified elements was done. So very interesting observation is found that gamified elements are already in the education, but not in the distribution that I have expected prior the research. Only 9% of the whole presence, let's say, of gamified elements in the education is in the primary and the secondary school. A very large percentage of 43% is examples of gamified elements incorporated into the training process is present in the higher education, which leaves almost half of it, 48%, for the other types of education, including non-formal adult education, lifelong learning, etc. for language learning, etc. Open badges, I mentioned them earlier, are something that also belong in this group of gamified elements. And well-known and very widely used e-learning platforms or learning management systems are also the platforms that are providing easy incorporation of gamified elements into the process of learning. When we are speaking about professional education, which is the topic of this presentation, professional education have very specific peculiarities, different from the ordinary, let's say, education, because when we are speaking about professional education, mainly in the field of technical skills or, let's say, engineering occupations, engineering sciences, skills that are aimed to be learned are on the equal level or on the equal amount as the knowledge that should be learned. So here, these gamified elements have even more importance than maybe in the other sectors or in the other occupations. In professional education, there are different approaches that can be used, and that depends on the type of the professional education. It can be teacher-driven in terms of that the actions are planned, or the sequences of the learning are planned and driven, led by the teacher, but also peer collaboration is something that is very often present in professional education. Coaching is also one type or one side of professional education, like showing how something should be done, and then self-reflection of the result of what is learned, or how the process is known from the teacher. Self-assessment and self-reflection, usually by self-assessment quizzes at the end, are something that is also one of the peculiarities or one of the sides of the professional education. And now what we have done, or what is our experience in using gamified elements in professional education, or in creation of professional training courses in the project that we have done. The project is titled See the Skills. It is one of the projects in Horizon program related to novel or advanced modern skills that are needed in order to follow the technological developments in the field that I mentioned in the rationale in the introduction: energy skills, energy efficiency, and sustainability of in this area. The general approach was something that we called a novel 3V approach, triple V approach, related to the visibility of skills, validation, and the value of skills. The visibility was enabled by providing or creation of what we called integrated database of energy skills. This database is a wide platform that is consisted of 3 different databases interconnected to each other with the skills, or with the basics units of the skills, which we called units of learning outcomes, ULOs, which are in the base of each skills or each knowledge and each definition of the qualification. So these 3 databases, one database are the list of training courses that are providing skills. The other is the list of trained or skilled certified professionals. And the third database are the products and the materials that are used in energy skills, for which the skills are needed in order to be able to be incorporated. The second platform is validation or certification of the professionals and how it is done. And this will result and have a result with increased value of the skills. At the beginning of the project, we made a little research by surveying in order to improve our approach. We have identified the lack of visibility of skills by providing these results. Only 1/4 or 1/4 of the respondents have answered that their skills are publicly visible, and that is usually on not ordinary platforms, but platforms like third-party websites which are presenting their skills. The need for validation was also identified. Only 1/3 have certificates of their skills, and these certificates are issued by professional organization or chambers, not the ordinary training providers. And something that was interesting observation is that the employers are not aware about the value of the skills or of their employees, because more than half of them in the need of skilled professionals have expressed the dedication that they will hire already skilled new professionals and not invest in their employees in order to skill them. So the action is required in order to raise the value of the already skilled professionals. This is the scope of the competences in which we were doing, not very relevant for this presentation. And the integrated register of energy skills, as I mentioned, that incorporated 3 different databases. What is interesting here, in this integrated register of energy skills, there are plentiful of gamified elements incorporated. One of them is e-learning platform that is providing ways how to reach the skills. Then we have developed a novel tool for recognition of prior learning or validation of non-formal learning, usually done by evidence-based listing of the documents in order to provide certificate of previous non-formal learning. But we tried and did it in this project. We developed a digital tool for doing this process. Something that is mostly related to this presentation is creation of gamified question sets for reaching learning and also for certification of learning and knowledge. Additionally, a self-assessment mobile app application is developed for self-assessment of the skills and knowledge of the workers, and along with that, also digital badges are provided within the platform. So a very nice set of examples of gamified elements that is used in professional education. A little bit for each of these e-learning platform. I will not discuss it in depth because it is a standard e-learning platform, Moodle-based. There are 8 different training courses developed. The characteristics of these developed training courses are that they are self-guided training courses, which means they are not a scheduled presentation, but the presentation and the set of training material that is provided is can be reached anytime by the trainees when they have time and that when they are able to assess them. All of these training courses are organized in 3 sections with this sense of reaching the milestones of the first section and then going to the next. Thank you. Each of the section has also quiz for self-assessment at the end of the section, and then the final test at the end of the whole training course, which leads to the certification. All of them in the sense of gamified elements. The gamified question sets that I mentioned are organized with 5 specific questions related or simulating the working environment. This is how they look. the idea is that the learner point the answer of the question, and the answers are also incorporated with the professional guidance how the problems should be solved. So these are nice example of introducing gamified elements into the professional education. Digital badges, how they look, and they incorporate the whole set of skills that some trainee has reached. At the end, we should acknowledge that along with the advantages, there are also some disadvantages of gamified elements. Too much gamified elements can distract from the key learning goals, and they should be provided with some sense of modification, how much is enough. The evaluation results were done only in two manners. The Kirkpatrick evaluation model is a 4-level model. It measures the reaction, and the reaction was measured for these gamified question sets, reaction from the learners. The second level is the amount of learning. We were able to measure the amount of learning on the e-learning platform. So these are the results, and the next third and the fourth level of this Kirkpatrick model of evaluation is to measure the behavior after the using some training method and the final results. So the conclusions finally will go that gamified element, there are plentiful of gamified elements that could be incorporated in the training process. They should be incorporated with the sense of what is enough and not to be too much. The aim of the gamification elements is not to compete with the traditional learning, but to enrich it, to enhance the modification of the trainees, and to enrich the whole process of learning. So this was maybe very briefly presentation of what we have incorporated from gamified elements in our example. I'm open to share more if there are person interest for sharing our experience, and thank you for your patience and for attendance.